12 noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West.
And this is Reprint.
This isn't breaking headlines. This is a second look with context added for perspective.
This is Reprint, edited after the headlines.
Good morning. East Coast, West Coast. This is Victor Flavius with the Reprint. My co-host, or our host, Crystal Jordan on the East Coast is not here today. She's under the weather, so I'm taking charge today. This is going to be fun. I wasn't expecting to be on solo dolo, but today's one of them days. Got to do what I got to do. So we're gonna make it work. I'm it's a beautiful day outside, and I'm sending thoughts and prayers to Crystal Jordan. I hope you're feeling better. Yeah, get some rest, and we will catch up when you come back around. Hope everybody's doing well today. This is a new platform I'm trying it on, so bear with me. This is going to be a little bit different today, and we're going to try to get through this, and we're going to try to make this work as best as we can. It's a little different for me, so just bear with me. Let me see what I got to look here. See, okay, all right, we're good. All right. Hope everybody's doing well today out here. Let's see what we got today on our first news article that we're gonna pull up. The Reverend Jesse Jackson, civil rights icon Reverend Jesse Jackson, has died at the age of 84, prompting global reaction and live coverage. Put this back up. Live coverage on outlets including BBC News. Known for his decades-long advocacy of racial equality, voting rights, and economic justice, and for running historic presidential campaigns in the 80s. Reverend Jackson was alongside MLK in the 60s, Martin Luther King Jr. in the 60s. He founded the Operation Push and Rainbow Push Coalition. He had two presidential runs, one in 84 and one in 88. And he didn't win, but his slogan that we all know is "Keep Hope Alive." This has been something we all, it's been in comedy, it's been all over the place, but he has been a global impact. And we send our condolences out to his family and his loved ones, and we send our condolences to him, to his family, and his loved ones. This is a interesting time to be alive. It's one of those things where our generation is moving away, dying off. Our older statesmen and heads of state are, leaving, and we're entering different times. And we want to appreciate what he did for our community. Jesse Jackson was a polarizing figure in the Black community. After MLK passed, he was pretty much one of the only ones left, except for John Lewis, who passed away as well too. And we have Andrew Jackson. Is it Andrew Jackson? I think it's Andrew. He's still ambassador. He's still with us. And so we have to keep the light burning, because they blazed a trail for us with being highest educated and being in the workplace and equal rights and civil rights. And so we want to thank Jesse Jackson for his service to our community, and like I said, wish his family condolences. If Crystal was here, she would be talking, but she's not. This is different. And now we move on to Cuba. This is going to be a short, show today, because the commentary, I don't have Crystal to talk with. Oh my God, Crystal's not here. Um, let's see the commentary. Let's see. Okay, Cuba. The next on our list is Cuba. So Cuba is facing one of the most severe social economic crises in decades, with widespread. It's not playing. Okay. With widespread fuel shortages and blackouts, plummeting currency value, and raising hardship for the citizens. We know what happened in Venezuela. So Cuba was pretty much they're having a hard time because the country of Cuba relied on Venezuelan oil to of course take care of the electricity and just the operation of the country. And because they have fuel shortages from Venezuela and Mexico, the U.S. pressure those countries not to send oil to Cuba. They are having a hard time because there's no transportation, there's rolling blackouts. There's a lot of stuff going on that we don't see because we live here in the United States, but other countries are suffering because of policies that the United States have put in place, and those things are affecting the people of Cuba. Basic services like water, healthcare, electricity are under severe threat. So we just have to be thankful that we live in a country right now that we are not in that position, but they have some really hard stuff going on, and that's what you see when countries fall apart, especially when you talk about economic strengths. um, Living in a place where there's no proper running water, electricity is bad because electricity, fuel pumps the water and moves things around, and so when you don't have that to help the country, people are suffering. So just be thankful for that type of that we live in a country where it's we have running water, and even some places in this country have it bad. It's just not a good time. It really isn't. I know it's bad news, and I know it's frustrating. I know it's a lot going on because we look at the news, and it's like one thing after the next. But we don't have it as bad as some countries, and I just pray for the people of Cuba, like as well. We see here that. In the headline news that Stephen Colbert was in the news yesterday. CBS um, had pretty much told him he couldn't bring on a political candidate from Texas, Democratic Senate James Tallarico, couldn't come on his show. FCC rules enforce equal time rules, meaning if he was gonna interview one person, he needs to bring the other person. So you can't have a Republican and Democrat. You got to have both on at the same time or on the same show or whatever. And so they pull that and says, hey, you can't have this political person on the show because it needs to be a balance. And so he pretty much had to go on his private YouTube or the YouTube show and put it on there because the FCC wouldn't allow CBS to do it. Under equal time rules, under a long-standing law, broadcasters must offer equal time, airtime, to all legally qualified candidates if they give time to one during a campaign. A rule meant to ensure fairness in elections. So this is something that has been in the news. So CBS, pretty much the legal team that approves all of the uh, script and the show before it comes on air, pretty much had pulled that segment and said you couldn't do it. He kind of did it anyways, and he's getting blowback for it. But what the crazy part is that the Trump administration allegedly, doing things in the media to uh, mess up the midterms that's coming up, or affect the midterms, I would say, allegedly. And so it's not good on their part, because this has caused a negative effect on what they want, because they want to interrupt or impact the midterm elections. But this has put more light and more gas and more time on that, because now people are looking at this Texas Senate candidate. And so now, instead of getting no one really looking at the news, now they have over 3 million plus views on this particular person. So it kind of backfired on them a little bit, um, again, that's what's happening with that. um, tmz tmz is tmz TMZ reports say that the outlet will no longer publicly disclose whether it has received alleged ransom notes. Keep this up here so you can see it. Yes, back to this. So TMZ reports say that the outlet will no longer publicly disclose whether it has received alleged ransom notes in Nancy's disappearance case. After previously mentioned such alleged communications, Harvey Levin, which is TMZ's head guy, explained the change in practice amid heightened sensitivity and ongoing investigative developments. So pretty much TMZ can't pretty much say whatever they want. Not saying they do, but the decision comes amid scrutiny over how such information affects public perception and ongoing investigations. A lot of times, news sources get out there and they try to get ahead of it, and they put spins on what they say. They will say certain keywords that make it sound like they have breaking news, or it would show like, we found this particular thing over here, and this is what they're saying it is, and it's breaking news. So it kind of messes with the perception that the case has been solved, or that things are getting closer to being solved. So this has been something that TMZ has been doing for a while, has been pretty much ahead of the game. And people are always like, how do they get the news ahead of time? How do they know what's happening and whatever the case is? And so it's like they are close to a lot of law enforcement branches, I guess, to get their information. So we'll keep eye on this whole thing with the disappearance of Nancy, and what's going on with that. In other news, I'm gonna put it right here like this. In other news, let's go with Luke. Two Live Crew's Uncle Luke is running for Congress. Can you believe it? I cannot believe it. Uncle Luke running for Congress. I mean, I wasn't a Two Live Crew fan to begin with, so I don't really. It's a little before my time. The whole Two Live Crew, Miami rap legend. Just needs to stay up. I can't. Oh, this is interesting. Miami rap legend and activist Luther Uncle Luke Campbell has officially launched his 2026 bid for Florida's 20th congressional district. The former Two Live Crew frontman and high school football coach is challenging incumbent Sheila McCormick. So we will see what actually happens with this. McCormick is currently under federal indictment. Campbell is positioning himself as a non-political businessman focused on local issues like the cost of living, crime, and immigration reform for the district's large Haitian community. I think he could actually get in. I don't see, why he wouldn't be able to get in that seat. If Donald Trump could do it, why can't Uncle Luke do it? That's what I say. Might sound crazy, but that might be the the change that we're seeing in this world. You know, a lot of non-politicians. He's running as a businessman and a community mentor, not a career politician, claiming his years as Coach Luke gives him a better pulse on the district than those in Washington. And he might be true. He might be right, because when you're on a lower scale, you touch the community more. You know what people's ailments and needs are. When you're in Congress and you're away at Washington and you're there, you have no like ties back. You don't know what's going on in your community in most cases. I'm not saying all of them are, but I feel like Uncle Luke would be able to better understand his community more, since he's been there for such a long time, and he's been an entertainer. He's been around people. He's familiar with how people move. He's a face that people understand and people know. Even though it might have some negative type of like tone to it, because he's a rapper or performer. Two Live Crew is known for their raunchy imagery when it comes to women and their songs. But again, if Donald Trump could be president twice, I don't see how he can't be a congressperson. That's just my take on that. His focus will strictly be on bread and butter issues, the soaring South Florida cost of living, education, and protections for the district's 300,000 residents with temporary immigration status. So he knows his community pretty well. He knows what he's looking at. He knows what will be important issues to his community. So, so I feel like this will be a good thing for Luke. I mean, again, he's been in the community for a long time. He knows his base. So he's speaking to his base, the immigrant community, the Haitian community, people that he's looking at low cost of living or dealing with cost of living issues, education issues, and his community. So he knows all the important parts. So I commend him for that. Let's see what we got next here. We will talk about Stephen A. Smith. Mr. Smith, step to the front of the building. We need to talk to you for a minute. Stephen A. Smith says he isn't worried about racism hurting chances if he runs for White House. Okay, so this one is a little bit more different. So Stephen A. Smith, ESPN personality, is generating headlines for publicly considering a run for the 2028 U.S. presidency as a Democrat. I don't know how serious this is. Stephen A. Smith, like Kanye West, says a lot. And I don't know if people will respect him or take him seriously. He told CBS News he's not ruling out a 2028 presidential run, saying he could see himself as on a debate stage and that the door is still open for potential bid. He claims he has no desire to be a conventional politician. Here we go again. But he hasn't ruled out a campaign if he feels he can make a meaningful impact. I don't know if Stephen A. Smith is qualified to run for president. But then again, like I said, we see Donald Trump as being president twice. So now people are coming out of the woodwork saying they can run for president. I don't know if Stephen A. Smith is qualified, or even if we will take him seriously. He said he's not worried about racism affecting his potential run, claiming many Americans judge candidates by character rather than race, a stance that that may resonate with some voters and challenge others. I, again, don't see this as something that's going to happen. I won't vote for Stephen A. Smith because he needs to stay and do what he does. I mean, he can try running, but there's a lot of different factors involved in a person running for president, and it's not just popularity. It's more than popularity. And it's different if he was running for like a local level seat. versus like, if he's running for like a state seat, let's say he's running for, mayor of New York, or he's running for like, something a little bit on a different level, not president, not CEO of the United States. I cannot see that happening. Now, he could have the background for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against anyone, going up for the job, but that's a serious job. That's a very, very serious job. And it takes a little bit more than just being a popular face. You have to, behind the scenes, there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more when it comes to like rubbing shoulders with different people, business people. You have to be a likable person. I know people say Trump is not a likable person, but you have to be in that business realm for a minute to understand how that works. And a lot of people wouldn't want to do business with a person that they don't like. And so you have to be able to go into certain rooms, shake certain hands, do certain things. And I don't know if Stephen A. Smith will qualify for that, or if people will even vote for him. So that's just my take on that. I don't know. Again, I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on this and see what actually happens, because a lot of times they say they will run, and it would be the last minute they'll drop out, or they wouldn't get the nod, because you have to. There's a process. You have to have the money, first of all, and you have to have money to run in every state. It costs money to run in every state. Every what do you call those things? Every poll, or every district, or every place that you run for an office, you have to have money to pay those fees and advertising dollars to campaign in those states and those places. And then you have to be picked by the DNC or by the party to be the candidate that's going to run against. You could be one of the candidates that just picked, but you have to have a lot of money. It comes down to having the capital to run in places that require you to pay fees and to advertise and to blanket you, because you talking about 51 states. You have to go, and it's a lot that's involved. I don't even know if this is even feasible, but that's just me. Anyhow, moving right along to the next thing, let's talk about Cam Newton. BT cancels Cam Newton show has officially been canceled after 8 episodes. 8 episodes. Get this back up on here. Okay. BT Plus has canceled 106 in Sports. The Atlanta Shot. This just keep coming off. The Atlanta Shot sports talk show, co-hosted by former NFL MVP Cam Newton and sports analyst Ashley Nicole Moss. After 8 episodes. Why wouldn't it stay up? Okay. 8 episodes. The show, a sports-themed spin on the iconic 106 & Park brand, launched in October 2025, but won't return for a second season, according to news, according to network confirmations. So it premiered in October 2025 and was filmed at Atlanta's Tyler Perry Studios. I don't know. After 8 episodes, it never. Like, Cam Newton is a very eccentric personality, I would say, and he has had a lot of controversy on pretty much every show that he put out. So that's 8 episodes. So I don't see what happened. Maybe he didn't get the ratings he thought he was going to get. Maybe he got tired of the show. I don't know. We don't know exactly what happened. BET announced it will not produce additional seasons. The existing episodes will remain available on BT platforms. Maybe they had fallen out. Maybe it just didn't work out. I don't see the 106 & Park was BT's version of like MTV Spring Bling, or like an MTV show. And it was a time when we used to watch music videos, and it was a live taping, and we've seen a lot of new shows. A lot of shows are ending because of this whole change in the way how shows are done now. So MTV canceled the whole. MTV's done. They're closed down. That's a wrap. BT pretty much closed a lot of their shows and platform parts, and so 106 in Sport was supposed to be the rebranding of 106 in Park, but added sports to it, and it was a flop. I'm sorry to say it did not take. I don't know why they even did it, why it was done. I don't even understand the concept of the 106 in Sports. I mean, they tried to merge two things together, and it didn't work. Sometimes you have to start fresh, and rebranding is not always the best choice in certain things. The show was part of BT's effort to evolve the 106 in Park legacy. Once one of the network's most iconic youth-focused franchises into sports commentary and cultural relevance. BT also had big-name executive backing with Spring Hill Company co-founded by LeBron James and Maverick Carter involved in production. Um, yeah, it wasn't good. It had a lot of controversy, and yeah, that's the end of that. Anyways, hopefully, the two, Ashley Nicole Moss can bounce back from this and do something else, and also Cam. I mean, it's not the end of the road for them. I just think the show wasn't a success based upon the show itself. And we've seen a lot of talk shows that are being uh, canceled because of the change that's happening in media. People are doing live shows like this. People are having their own platforms like Don Lemon. We just saw the exit of what's the news anchor with the white hair? I forget his name. We just saw him leave his show on CBS. Anderson Cooper, he just left CBS, and there's a lot of changes happening in media. So we're just gonna keep an eye on that, and just understand that's where the world's going and what things, what's happening right now. Rolling right into disappointments and changes. Essence Festival. Essence Fest still owes local vendors for the 2025 event. Organizers of the annual Essence Festival of Culture are under fire in New Orleans after public records show the event still owes hundreds of thousands of dollars in past due payments to the Ernest and Morrill Convention Center related to the 2025 festival. Public records indicate that the festival ran by Sundial Media Group, owner of Essence brand, roughly owes $456,000 to the New Orleans Convention Center as of early February after making only a partial payment of $50,000. The outstanding debt relates to a production and logistics costs from the 2025 festival. Yeah, it's a lot. Because the festival received public funds and support, unanswered debt raises questions about fiscal accountability and stewardship amongst organizations. Yeah, it's that's unfortunate. So they owe close to $500,000 of. Oh man, that's not good for Essence. And I didn't hear any good things about the last Essence festival. I wouldn't kick a brand when it's down, especially one of our own brands. I would say that times have changed and times are changing, um, and it's just not a good time for brands right now because the economy in America has shifted a lot with the loss of all the jobs that are out there, government shakeup with all of the government sector jobs. Remember, a lot of people that worked in government had solid, steady jobs, and there was a time in life where you left college, and then you got a job in a government job, and you know that you could stay there until you retire. Nowadays, that's not the case. Nowadays, you get a job and you're lucky to even last five years. A lot of companies are shifting to AI. It used to be a situation where Amazon and UPS, the post office, was a sure thing. You got that job, and you're like, okay, I'm good. I could retire on this. But now those companies are shifting and going to AI. Those companies are laying off a lot of people. And so what's going on is companies like Walmart and Target are not seeing growth in revenue because people don't have the funding to pay for those things, and capital and money. And so this starts to trickle down into small businesses, small brands, and you start to see people start to decide, well, do I go to a festival or do I eat or put gas in my car or take care of my kids? And so these are decisions that everyday Americans are having to make now. um, so I don't want to kick Essence while they're down. I want to, say let's support our black-owned businesses. Now, whether or not they spent the money in the wrong places or they decide to, do things with the money that wasn't supposed to be done, that's not my call to make or to even know. But I know that a lot of brands are hurting right now. A lot of big festivals, Essence Fest, we saw the Natural Hair Show, a lot of um, big festivals that black owned festivals having to downsize or change venues or shift uh, because the sponsorship money is not where it was or where it is or whatever. And we're seeing that those changes are happening across the board. The festival officials have acknowledged the outstanding bills, but say they are working to fulfill obligations as the city and venue still settle accounts from the 2025 event. Organizers describe the Essence Festival as an important cultural and economic contributor and say planning for 2026 is underway with venues returning. So a lot of times it's not even the fact that they did anything wrong. It's just money gets tied up in payment structures and stuff like that. And, some companies have a net 90 or whatever the case is, and they have time to pay, and stuff happens. A lot of stuff happens, especially with business. Money falls through the cracks sometimes. Local small businesses are the one that benefits the most from these types of things with spending and traffic around the area. So we want to encourage spending in our community. We want to encourage uh, Essence Festival to stay afloat. We want to encourage the owners to get it done, get it fixed, so people can go back to being a community again with stuff like this. It's important to have our festivals to celebrate our culture and celebrate our stuff. But we also have to be mindful of how we spend our money and where it goes. So I just want to, yeah, just hope they get it together and hope people that supposed to get paid get their money, because 2026 is pretty much halfway. Well, I mean, it's still early, but in business wise, it's the clock is ticking. It's moving. Anyhow, moving right along. America's Top Model. I didn't read too much into this one because I wasn't a big America's Top Model person. America's Top Model Netflix documentary has disturbing moments with Tara Banks. Let's see. Netflix new documentary Inside America's Top Model takes viewers behind the scenes of the iconic reality show, offering fresh insight into the pressures, drama, and legacy of the long-running modeling competition. The film explores how the series shaped pop culture, amplified voices, spotlighted diversity, and also sparked controversy, all while revealing the emotional and professional stakes for its contestants. Yeah, America's Top Model. I think it's time to hang this stuff up. I mean, it's a documentary and showed all the stuff behind the scenes, but why? Why now? I don't care enough about America's Top Model. All the years we've seen all these shows. America's Top Model. We've seen America's Got Talent. We've seen America this, America that. We've seen all these shows, and while it's cool, I guess it's something that we as a culture like to look at, to see rising talent and stuff like that. A lot of these people on these shows get exploited. A lot of the behind the scenes that we hear about afterwards, how contestants don't get paid or they don't get the money, or they go through these rigorous exercises and trainings and stuff just to get to the top, and then they get to the top and it's like it's not what they expected. is a tale as old as time, like they would say. Stardom and celebrityism is what people go to and navigate towards. But when they get to being a celebrity, or they get to the pinnacle, and they open the doors and they realize what they were trying to get, this $1 million is not worth it. This contract wasn't worth it. We've seen, we heard horror stories on making it a band. We heard, all the boy band stories. We heard all of these different, things that Korean pop stars go through a lot of different issues. There's so much mess that goes on just to become famous and to be part of this whole entertainment world. And I guess it's curious to see what happened behind the scenes with this documentary, but it's a pass for me. I don't know. It's like watching bloopers, I guess. I don't know. The documentary doesn't shy away from the emotional stakes of competing, the anxiety of challenges, critiques from judges, the personal transformation journey many contestants undergo, explores how reality TV amplifies pressure and public scrutiny. Yeah, you put yourself in these places, you become a contestant, and then a lot of times reality TV is scripted. You all know this is scripted reality. It's not real. And it's all about editing. So you and I could be talking about something, and they will cut out the part where we're talking cordially and calmly. And when they get to the yelling part, or our emotions get intact, that's what it starts with. And so it's all drama. It's all pressure. It's all showing how discombobulated people are. And that's not good for mental health, especially in 2026. I'll pass on that one. But Miss J. Alexander, the guy with the lady with the glasses looking down, had revealed on Netflix docuseries that she had some health crisis, or that he had a health crisis. He suffered a devastating stroke in December 2022. Left him in a coma for 5 weeks, and initially unable to walk or speak. So he's regaining his speech, and is currently undergoing rehabilitation with the goal of walking again. And so, in his time that he was on the show, he was a big part of the show, and he was a key person with the girls, and showing them how to model and to walk and all the stuff. And in 2022, he had a mishap of having a stroke, and that's thoughts and prayers for him, because that's not good. Now he's learning to walk again, and so maybe this documentary will help, rejuvenate his career, or to give him some insight into what he did or how his life was. And I just pray for him. That's all we could do. I am missing Crystal Jordan today. I wish she was here, because this is not as easy as it looks, people. It's fun when she's on air, but we miss her. We pray for her, and we want to send our love out to her. Hopefully she is recovering. She's getting sleep. She's not on live. She's probably sleeping. I hope she's resting, taking her meds and resting. But Crystal, we pray for your recovery, and I hope you guys will join us on Friday. Oh, wow. We're at Friday already. Man, I hope you guys will join us Friday, and we thank you guys for being part of our show. I apologize again for, it being the way it is. I'm not used to being in the driver's seat with a live show. I'm used to, editing and, making changes and being able to be comfortable. But I took on the challenge, and I said, we won't stop, Crystal. We're not going to stop. Won't stop, can't stop. Yeah. Bad, right? But I thank you guys for being part of this day with us today, and we'll see you guys on Friday. Peace.